About to go ahead and do this video for today. Got myself some more peppermint oil. Wasn't sure what the fuck was going on with that. Trying to lose my little friends. So in the middle of the night, I started wearing my frankincense and myrrh, which directly contacts God, from what I understand in the spirit plane. You know, a lot of these things that people wear, so sneezing, giving away certain parts of mine. I sound exactly like that. But as I was saying before, in the spirit plane, this carries certain connotations. So I wore frankincense and myrrh in the middle of the night, and spiritually, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I kept feeling like the Illuminati's God was showing up, then somebody else's, and it was just consecutive whatchamacallit of affairs. And I didn't have time for it. And so, with that being said, I had a hard time sleeping. You know, I heard Baron Samedi right before he disappeared to that whatchamacallit, that they were gonna make it, got taken into that UFO and shit. It's connection to God. You know, be very careful, because if your connection to God is fucked up like me, you can get fucked up easily. And so with that being said, that happened. I was cooking some little mini steaks like this. Yeah. So I was unsure as to what the fuck was going on. With that being said, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I felt like I was getting help. And with that being said, consciousness got tore up even more. Now, before you jump to conclusions, spend money like I did, always check what you got at home. Frankincense and myrrh is very powerful. You know, it's a connector to God. It keeps you in contact with God. Another thing, look into a lot of Eastern philosophies. If you find any blocks and you want to get rid of it in a simple manner, Buddhist, I'm not wearing one. I used to have one, especially when I was staying at the YMCA shelter or the VOA shelter on Avalon, not that far from here. That's why it wasn't that far long that I got this apartment. With that being said, with that being said, Nine of Swords. Last night, that's how I felt him. Something different. Wasn't that long that I started getting help. And started getting confusing because I felt, you know, the Illuminati. Like I said in them timelines, they got my father. They were using him, you know, trapped in the hell realm. They using the demiurge. I don't know if it's the real demiurge or not. I ain't got nothing against the man. To suppress the living fuck out of him. Making them their highest selves. That's why I got advised by them road spirits. Go and get a saffron oil for them. But I think safflower oil may work better. I don't know. But the saffron oil felt like it was working. It felt like it was mad effective. And I was getting a lot of my shit back. You know, the spirits had to do some work, but I was getting my shit back. With that being said, I don't know what the fuck is going on spiritually with me. I heard I got real help in the middle of the night. You know, poor mom had died in that timeline. Her highest self trying to get me back. They removed her from that timeline and all of that, you know, a while back. Had, I guess, my grandmother's next incarnation of people of Grand Isles come and help. Feel something talking about moving all that. Seven of Pentacles I got here. And a lot. You know, with shit like this, you know, it could get tricky. Playing frequency, that could get, you know, blocked and all that, you know, but you wear certain things to protect you, and they can't really do all of that. But yeah, frankincense and myrrh, very, very powerful. They were making themselves in that timeline. My higher, the highest selves. Girl in that timeline, I got an Asa Sneha house. House. Just like how they say a house in Germany, Haus. The house of Vaudeville or something like that. Vaudeville. So that the Illuminati, their timeline start with Adam Weishaupt. I heard in the spirit plane that I think they derisively call their house the house of Maison de Vaudeville, or Maison Blanche or something like that, meaning White House in French, all highfalutin and shit. That's the name of their houses. Remember another one that was Spanish. That woman had, you know, this reminds me of it. I was told that this article I wrote a long time ago, actually, mall extension represented where they had her, what's that woman's name? Cassandra Nunez the third. It was called De La something. to mention too, and I was totally made to forget, after I wore the frankincense and myrrh, I was getting spiritually fucked with really, really, really motherfucking bad, mad bad. Almost to the point of death, and I felt it. I remember having a dream where it felt like I was in my childhood home. And I'm trying to remember the basics of it. I felt like, and I'm trying to remember. I remember trying to put something, I don't know if it was, I look like a fucking ghost here, don't I? Like, this shit transparent. I don't know if I was putting safflower oil or, it's very detailed. And I remember, it was like a apartment two of me being in my old childhood home. It felt like a shelter. There was other people there, Hispanic young lady. And I felt like I was at a Exodus where I had to stay because I needed shelter, in part. I was homeless and people were really, really nice over there. Very, very nice. The hospital. With that being said, and I remember calling on the devil, Satan, who's, good people. From my personal experience, I remember trying to get out of something. And seeing myself in the stroller at one point where I was arguing with somebody. It felt like, I may do a more detailed video when the details come to mind. Eyes almost look reptilian. We all have them behind out during this evil shit. Sick of it. But I remember whispering outside and everything else. Sound like them. Being in this apartment two of the mental hospital, Exodus, childhood room. And me feeling like, and feeling trapped as well. It was nighttime. It was the moon that spiritual connection. Feeling like I made a major mistake or something. I don't know what the fuck it was. But I was trying to get rid of something. I feel like it was the Illuminati. And I kept going outside. And I was trying to remember certain details. I'm being made to forget certain details. I was trying to remedy something, clean something. I had put something up there. I don't know if it was, I'm hearing my blood, red blood. And then trying to take it off, I felt like it was a symbol. Because when you have astral visions and shit, there's layers upon layers of that shit. And, you're not fully conscious. But I remember 3 times going to this place trying to put it up, then feeling bad, then taken down, and then trying and blocked. And I felt like it was Illuminati, even though it was trying to come across as them trying to help out, and it really wasn't. Felt like it was them road spirits or something out for help of my ancestors, family, mom and dad, screaming out for help. Like I said, they were saying, just put the frankincense and myrrh will help. Yeah, I saw both of my parents from that August 22nd, 2022 timeline where that Ace of Snee house was at. got them as in tranquil spirits. They were begging. They were like, we can help you, we can help you. And got both of my parents higher to high selves. Almost enough to make me want to fucking cry and kill these motherfuckers. I gotta do something about the Illuminati. In that timeline, they gotta go. 1248 hertz could be used, but they got something more powerful. I posted how to take out the Illuminati a while back. Make sure they use against them road spirit. Use 69465 hertz C. Akashic records. But I'm trying to remember, and I can't remember. I'm not good at remembering shit like I used to because of all this evil shit I got. Looking at something right now about Archie and Lilibet. It felt like I had been made a sacrifice by a bunch of people, including the Rothschilds and Illuminati and all of that. Zendaya Coleman in that timeline. This Ace of Sneehouse, Halliburton Highbert, who I understand is doing very well in real estate. But with that being said, I remember feeling inclined to write a symbol, but then take it down. And I felt like it was for protection, but it wasn't. So I went over there trying to clean it. I kept getting blocked, and I was told, you blocked, you stuck, you trapped, we got you. I saw the Baphomet. I saw my fucked up Baphomet at one point. I heard he was reaching out for help and all of that. It's supposed to be related to AIM. Your mind, the Egyptian god. And I've been saying that. And with that being said, it's supposed to be related to ISIS and their bloodline, all that shit. With that being said, and the Illuminati stole my Baphomet. With that being said, I remember hearing what sounded like, but I believe it was my dad, Jacob Rothschild, saying something to the effect of, you didn't like us, woo woo, but we're going to set you free, woo woo. And, I get irritated at night. I know where my parents are at. I'm just like, I got to sleep. And so I'll say epithets at times, continually towards them. I woke up playing 1248 2 hertz just to get them out of my timelines, get my shit back. The problem is, they made a soul contract with this Ace of Sneehouse after she stole my soul consciousness that I lost. It was under Renee Wellinger, now it's under Marianne and a couple of other people. And as soon as I mentioned that, all my entity attachments, all that disappeared. I'm trying to get that back because I don't have a soul contract with them motherfuckers. Felt what felt like the demiurge, the real one. I feel like a golden carriage with him, pulling my shit back. I got to get the real one. With that being said, I also got Esther Williams for that. With that being said, them motherfuckers are hell-bent on making me a sacrifice in that 3iAtlas. And I'm incredibly, and I'm going to say this right now, incredibly frustrated. But that shit was scary. I almost didn't wake up. I kept waking up in the dream, and I was pretty conscious, semi-conscious, but not fully because of how fucked up my consciousness was. And I saw, people moving. It was getting evening time. I felt something very ominous coming. I wanted to mention that. It was a Spanish name. And it's going to come to me. And they felt so little about her that they based her house on Maison Blanche. The Esplanade Mall. Maison Blanche, I guess, that I used to go to as a kid here. But it was called, She's in the hospital, supposedly where she was born. I got a Rosa. There's a Rosa. Or some analogous too, or something dealing with Rosa. Anyways, we're going to do these readings. I reject. I hate to read them for somebody. Tell me on my Google. It was just too much. I don't try to put people on that shit. So, right now, in the obstacle position, you got 4 cups. Some is telling you that you got a lot of work ahead of you, but some is also telling you things ain't what they appear. I don't know what's going on with me. I'm trying to figure. 3 of Wands. You got to contrive a long-term strategy. Deal with what you're dealing with. Queen of Wands is going to be feeling of my mother. Future position. And I feel like there's a female, very powerful, could be a matriarch. There's a very powerful stabilizing force that's going to help you out. 6 of Pentacles is the subconscious. And I feel like on some level, you know you got help, subconscious. You know your ancestors actually supported by the gods of chaos, the darkness. You got Zeno, you got Satan. There's somebody else I don't want to name because I got too much shit dealing with. King of Pentacles is the gold position. And I feel that you're getting help. I'm feeling it's a patriarch, somebody that's going to help you out and look out for you. 7 of Pentacles is the advice card. And that's to take a long look at what you're dealing with and try to do something. The Sun is going to be the outcome. I mean, that's the energy all around you. There's a lot of people who you feel are celebrating your downfall, but I feel like your upcoming is coming soon. Knight of Cups is your fears and your hopes card. And I think that you might be in the energy of success. You don't know it. You're oblivious to it. But you be there soon. 3 of Swords, that's going to be what you're going to come across. You're going to lose something dearly in exchange for getting something great. Be very careful about making sacrifices, just like Peoples and Dyer Coleman, all the motherfuckers have done to me. Anyways, say one more personalized reading. Contact me at ravenbyterror22 at yahoo.com. Peace. Lord have mercy.